Happy Self-Love Sunday. I am Moe Sass, the host of Self-Love Sundays with Sass. I am a certified life coach who considers herself an aide in the village that helps walk along people's journeys to help them create the life they so desperately desire. That's in terms of all relationships, married, single, looking to get married, children, relationship with your friends, jobs, etc. Also financial freedom, stability, entrepreneurship, all the things, right? And I really specialize in not only helping people, figure out what their purpose is, because most people don't get their purpose is already something that you do so effortlessly now. I create a vision around it and the goals to help you walk into it. And there's nothing that brings me greater pleasure than to see my clients walking in their purpose and creating a vision for their life. Is such a beautiful thing. And if you would like to sit down and talk with me, you can email me at info@moesass.com. That's MOESASS.com. Or you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Life Coaching, the W, not the whole word, with W Sass. If you're ready to book with me, you can book at www.moesass.com. And I appreciate everyone my returning people, as well as the new ones who have found my content. I hope that it brings you some sort of peace, some sort of healing, some sort of just clarity. And if ever things are confusing, or if ever you have question or just want me to talk about a topic, don't be afraid to reach out to me. Message me. I don't bite people. I actually message back. I get people who message me sometimes and I'm like, I don't know if you're going to message back, and I always do. So yes, just message me back. Message me and I will always message back, and we can have any conversation that you would like. So today I want to come because I started this month off of November talking about what are the things that you must say no to so that you can walk into your new beginning. And if you haven't watched those videos, please go back and watch them. It's very important because a lot of people are hoping and wishing and praying for the new, but not willing to give up the old. And what I mean by the old, I'm talking about the old mindset, the old belief systems, the old environments that keep you stuck and stagnant. And a lot of people want to get into this, or are you talking about releasing people? I don't know if that's going to be true for you. I know that along my journey and along some of my clients' journeys, they've had to walk away from people, places and things that did not align with their God-given purpose. So that may happen. I'm not sure if that's the same for you, but there's one way for us to find out, and that's for you to set up a consultation and we can figure that out, right? But the most important thing is understanding that it all begins and ends with you. And so it all begins and ends with you. What that means is once you make a decision about what you choose and how you choose the life that you desire, the life of your dreams. So many of us dream and are scared that we can't have the dream. And I always question, who told you that? Like, who told you that? There's so many things that I dreamed when I was 16 and pregnant, welfare mom, that I have today. And now my dreams are even bigger. And I see them, starting to come to light. Some of them starting to come to pass even now, right? So it's like, dare to dream and dream big. Because if you are in tune and touch with, and for those who watch my videos, they know I'm going here. And for those of you who are new, I'm going to start it off like this. I always say that I am not religious, I'm spiritual. And what that means is I have a personal relationship with God. I don't care who you call your God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, a tree, universe. I always say that because I don't care who you call your God. As long as you understand that there is a higher source and a higher power that you get to be in tune and touch with that will help guide you along this journey of life, because you cannot do this alone. So many have tried and many have failed. Okay. If people ask me, well, who do I believe in? I believe in Jesus Christ, and I don't care if you don't. That is not my job to tell you who you must believe in or who you must call your God. That is not my job. My job is simply to deliver content, help open people up to all the beautiful blessings of this world, because and help them understand that it's mainly mindset that keeps you where you are. If my mindset would have allowed me to stay in the welfare mentality of when I started, and if my mindset would allow me to stay in that 322 a month, if that mindset would allow me to stay in my small world of thinking, right? Because this world is huge and it's abundant and it's so much more out here. If my mind would have allowed me to stay there, then that's where I would be. But because my mindset was always to reach bigger, aim for more, shoot for the stars, whether I failed or not, because I failed many, many times. I fell down. When they say fall down 10 times, get up 9. Listen, I must have fell down 200 and I'm still getting back up. So it's very important to understand that it begins and ends with you, and that as long as you stay in tune and touch with your higher source, your higher power, you'll be able to make it through all of the ebbs and flows of what life is. And that's exactly what it is. It is peaks and valleys. And every time you climb one mountain, you're at the bottom of another. Somebody needs to hear that. Every time you climb one mountain, you're at the bottom of another. So just continue to climb. But when you understand that you don't have to climb alone, it makes the walk a little easier. Because the walk isn't always easy. I say that. My walk has not been easy. And granted, it's been beautiful at the same time. My walk has not been easy, but it's been beautiful at the same time. To see my life flourish, to see my children flourish, to see things take off. Some things that I thought I would never be able to do, including sitting in front of this video camera right now, making these videos. Never, ever in a million years saw this happening, but it's happening. Right? All because I chose to believe. The magic is believing. And for my talk today is all things come to those who wait on God. Because it's not about just the things that you must say no to walk into the newness. It's also having the patience. It's also having the understanding that proper preparation prevents poor performance. And AKA, if you just wait a little while longer, have patience. And it's not the waiting period, it's what you're doing while you're waiting. It's not the waiting period, it's what you're doing while you're waiting. I'm waiting on some things from God right now. I'm waiting on some things, okay? And it's what I'm doing while I'm waiting. While I'm waiting, I'm educating myself. While I'm waiting, I always tell people this too. Just as a doctor has doctors, a doctor can't perform surgery on himself. Do you realize that? So just as a doctor have doctor, life coaches have life coaches and therapists, right? So while I'm in my waiting period, not just while I'm in my waiting period, but in life, I'm in therapy. I am reading new things. I'm opening my mind to new things. I'm stepping more into my purpose. I'm stepping more into the healing side of who I am, right? So it's not just the wait. And I say wait, and we're just laying on the couch hoping for some miracle just to drop in our laps. It is faith without works is dead. There are some things that you get to do in the wait, right? Okay, so let's talk about it. So I have client who desires to be married, and it's like I'm waiting. It's like, well, what are you doing in your wait? If you are a wife, carry yourself as such. Would a wife be sleeping with a bunch of people? I'm gonna say this to my men too. Would a husband be sleeping with a bunch of people, or would he be waiting on his wife? Does that mean he's not dating? Does that mean that she's not dating? No. Dating is just collecting data, waiting and really getting to the heart of the matter. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I did a video the other day about getting to the heart of the matter. Some of us are so busy chasing the shiny things that come in front of our faces and not getting to the heart of the matter, because all hearts aren't good hearts. All hearts aren't your heart. How about that? But we're so busy chasing after things, not allowing the right thing to find us. What are you doing in the wait? It's such a great question. Are you anxious in the wait? Are you fearful in the wait? Because if you are very fearful and anxious, then what's going to come towards you is fearful and anxiousness. Okay? And not to say that we won't have some fears. I'm not saying that. But it's when the fears come to mind. It's like a whack-a-mole, right? I don't know if you guys, I'm a little older. I don't know if you guys heard of this game. It's called the whack-a-mole. It was like these things would pop up, and you had to hit it with this. You had to hit it with like this like spongy thing and knock them down. So negative and fearful thoughts are gonna come, but you have to knock them down. You have to knock them down. You know, every time they pop up, you have to tell yourself the truth of the matter. You know, it's like, and I understand that that can be hard, but it's also in what are you listening to in the wait? What are you watching in the wait? That's very important. What you feed your mind, it really fuels your life. People don't understand that. What you feed your mind fuels your life. So if you're feeding your mind negativity, and here's the thing, there's false positivity. What do I mean by that? I am also an energy healer. People call them oracle card reader. So literally the other night I went to dinner with it's today's Sunday. Friday night I went to dinner with a friend, and I could sense all these things going on with him. And I was just like reading him from head to toe. And he's like, are you psychic? Are you psychic or something? I don't put labels to this. I say that God has given me a gift to see the pain in people so I can help open them up so they can start their healing journey. A healer does not heal. Let me make this clear, because even when people come to me, it's like, oh, like heal me. A healer does not heal. What we do is hold space for healing. We open you up to the things that you cannot see, but it's up to you and God to do the healing. It is up to you and your God to do the healing. That is not my job. I hold space for that. My words are comforting. I hear, right? I hear that, they open people up. It's so funny because that's the second, no, it's actually not the second, but it's like to see these men, it's so, and then when I'm talking about this for a reason, so just follow me for a second. We're talking about purpose, right? And waiting on God. And what are we doing in the wait? So in the wait, I'm still continuing to heal or open up healing for people, right? So I'm having these conversations and with these strong men. I mean, these are some beautiful men. And we're having these conversations, but they're suppressing their emotions. They're anxious. They have, about so many things. They feel all this weight on their shoulders. We talk about God, and these men are men of God. Some of them are. My Marine really wasn't, but he's about to be. I felt that in my spirit before I left. He's like, I'm going to go get the Bible and read it. Let's do that. Right? So it's, so this pressure to be Boaz as the woman finds pressure to be Ruth instead of being themselves. It's not about the person, it's about the character. It's about the character. What is your character in the wait? What is your character in the wait? Are you holding on to bitterness, anger, resentment? Are you speaking negativity or trash talking the people that used to be in your life? That's important. Do you know, I'm going to share this story with you. I went through a terrible breakup. I've talked about this on many videos. It's not a secret. After my divorce, I went through a terrible breakup, right? It was like terrible. And it was my karma. I said it. I'm not afraid to say it. But do you know, after it happened, I didn't spend my time dogging him out. I didn't spend my time talking about it. I spent my time looking at the lessons in it. And those lessons were some of my greatest blessings. It brought me to who I am today. Not him, the lessons. So I was able to free myself from it and also free him from it. But when you're spending your time in the wait, going around talking about this person in some of the worst ways, and I'm not saying that you won't have conversations, because me and my best friend, of course, I went to her, I was upset. I was like, listen, all this stuff happened, and we talked through it. But the thing about my personality is I give myself about maybe 2 or 3 times of soaking in, and then it's like, all right, so what now what? Okay? So I don't spend my time running around dogging the person out. I spend my time working on me, working on the things that I need to heal, as to not attract certain things in my life anymore. And understanding that all of those lessons were beautiful things that I can now grow from. I now know what I don't want so I can get to what I want. You follow me? So what are you doing in the wait? And the reason we talk about relationships so much is because when I sit down and talk with my clients, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens. We'll start off talking about business, or we'll start off talking about finances, or we'll start off talking about purpose. And it always leads to relationships, because a lot of them are not achieving the very things that they desire because of the relationships. in their life. And let's get to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is why that's not being achieved is because there is something, there's a trauma, there's a trigger, there's a wound within themselves that happened at a very young age that they have not touched and have not gotten to, working on the healing of that, and is crumbling things all around their life. So they may be successful in some things, some parts of their business or their career, but they're not feeling fulfilled and don't understand why. And then they look for a relationship, and then they go to this person or that woman or that man or whatever and looking for them to fulfill the void. And then when they figure out they can't either and they find themselves in a bunch of unsuccessful relationships, then we get to the heart of the matter. That no person can fill that void. It is something that you get to work on and heal. And once you do that, start the healing journey. Oh, my thing fell out my ear. Once you start the healing journey, you'll see that everything starts to open up and change for you. But you got to get rid of the bitterness, hate, the resentment, and all the guilt. Start to forgive yourself and forgive them. And that's how you start to walk in this healing journey. And it's a journey. And you have to have, so it started off talking about having the patience. What are you doing in the wait? What are you doing in the wait? If you're sitting around, listen, whatever you're sitting around doing right now, and whoever you're sitting around doing it with right now, you're looking at your life in the next 5 years. So if you're sitting around with bitterness, resentment, and hate, and speaking that and spewing that all over about all the people who have so-called done you wrong, living in victim mode, because people love that mode, then that's the sum total of your next 5 years. Victim mode. It just is what it is. If you're sitting around the sum total of 5 people, all they do is complain. They don't have vision. They don't have what I call eagle's view, right? If they don't have that, they're not successful. They're complaining. They're just sitting around muddling in that. That's welcome to the next 5 years of your life. If you're sitting around people who are gossiping and that's all they're doing, and there's no true growth, welcome to the next 5 years of your life. So what are you doing in the wait? You have to understand, waiting for the thing to come, waiting for the wife, waiting for the husband, waiting for the family, the career, the business to take off. All of that will come, but it's what you do in the wait that makes the difference. What you do in the wait is what makes the difference. Get grounded. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do in the wait. Meditation is your best friend. And I know people are like, oh, here she go with that meditation. I just have to tell you that a lot of answers and downloads I get in meditation. The message that I brought to you today, I received through meditation, okay? So meditation is your best friend. And it doesn't always have to be just being quiet. They have all sorts of guided meditations that you can find on YouTube. I love guided meditations. Another thing that you can do in the wait is prayer is your best friend. Let me tell you something right now. Because of the things that people will speak on your life, I'm going to say, I don't care who you call your higher power, but prayer, you have to stay in prayer. You would not, and I say that like when you have a gift, and most of us have it. Don't believe that. Listen, I want you to hear this too. Everybody has a gift. It's a matter of healing so you can get into yours. But the things that I've heard that people say, I have to stay prayed up, because people don't understand that when they talk about you in that way, if you have a gift, you hear it. And it can mess with your mind. So you have to stay prayed up. You pray, and then pray for that thing that they're desiring. Don't pray from a place of lack. Pray from a place of abundance. It's how you pray. And if you want to talk more about that, because I can't give you that all in the video, message me and we can talk about it. Also, the next thing, get around friends and family that love you. If you're like me, when you're going through a storm, you tend to isolate. I do. I tend to isolate, go in hermit mode. And there's a time and a season for that. But there's a point, especially now during the holidays, when everybody is triggered and a lot of traumas come up because, there's a lot of things that's going on in their families, a lot of family drama. Some people have lost people. There's a lot of grief. It's so important to surround yourself with love. So this is a time to surround yourself with people who you know love you, desire the best for you. And you know that because when you go around them, you feel a sense of peace and you feel lighter, right? So get around those people. Detox yourself. Detox your triggers. So if you know going on social media because you're the person who looks at social media and think that everybody else has it so much better than you, never really knowing what those people are truly going through, then you have to detox yourself from that. Detox yourself from the things that you're watching on TV. People don't understand that sometimes the things that you watch, they sit in your subconscious mind, and those are the things that can end up haunting you. So yes, be mindful of what you're listening to. Be mindful of what you're reading. Be mindful of who you're around. If you need to get up and get away from your environment, do so. A lot of people say, well, I can't move because I don't have money. Listen, money has never been a factor. It's a mindset. If you truly believe, you can pick up and go, and everything that you're seeking will find you. Sometimes it is just getting up and going and getting away from all those toxic people and that toxic environment. If there's a bunch of arguing and fussing and fighting and negativity, why are you staying in that? If it's not leading you to purpose and peace, what are you doing? If it's not leading, because it's so on my spirit, if you are not providing peace and purpose, what are you doing? Stop bleeding all over everybody because you're not happy. Happiness is not found in the person. It's found in you and in your healing. That has to stop. This gossiping and speaking this stuff over people, this negativity over people. You don't even understand what you're doing when you do that. You don't even understand what you're doing when you do that. It's so much more in the unseen than the seen. Stop doing that. If you're not speaking love and life over people, stop speaking. Please don't do that. Somebody needed to hear that today. The other thing is, create some fun in your life. If you're not having fun, there's something wrong too. I understand that we all get bogged down with getting the things done, right? Getting the goals done, hitting the targets, hitting the marks. And in the midst of that, you have to create some fun. I always say a laugh a day keeps the doctor away, because that dis-ease in your body is because you're not having fun. You're worried and depressed and anxious about all the things that will get done once you come into alignment, once you come in a place of love and not from a place of hate and resentment. And stop blaming everybody for what happened to you. You're a sum total of your choices, baby. A sum total of your choices. You get to make a choice, okay? And stay present. A lot of times we're depressed because we're living in the past, or anxious because we're too far in the future. Stay in the present moment. Stay present. And I want you to understand that one day I'm going to get on the stage and I'm going to share my full story so you'll hear and know that when I come and I speak this to you, I speak this from a place of having lived so many of these things and still living some. I don't ever shy away from the fact that I'm in the midst of heartbreak, and I don't shy away from that. But the things that I'm doing in the wait makes the difference. It makes the difference when you're going through heartbreak and you're going through grief. The holidays are a tough time for me. But what are you doing when you go through that? I'm filling myself up with positivity. When the negative thoughts come up, I'm fighting them. When I hear the things that people are spewing, the hate that is being spewed towards me, I'm filling that up with sending it back with love. Normally what I say when I hear, because God has given me this gift, I say, I love you. Thank you. I forgive you. I hope that you've forgiven me. And I send you back to God with love and light. When you feel that negative energy towards someone, that's what you say. Thank you. Because if you're being honest, you love them. That's why you're saying the things you say. I love you. I forgive you. I hope you've forgiven me. Because I don't care who you listen to. It takes two to tango in all relationships, whether this is something with your spouse, your significant other, your children, on the job. It takes two to tango. So you have to not only be forgiven, you forgive yourself, but forgive the other person as well. It took two, okay? And then send them back with love and light. Stop with this harming one another. Be the change you want to see in this world. What must you say no to? Say no to the negativity. Say no to the gossip. Say no to spewing hate about people. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you, okay? So while we're in the wait, we have the things that we get to do. Meditate, Pray. Get around people who truly love you. Get out of those negative and toxic environments. Be mindful of what you listen to, including music, including television. Be mindful of what you read. Stay present in the moment. Do something fun. Don't let the holidays beat you down. You get to have happiness and joy if you choose to create it. And if you're having a difficult time and you just don't know what to do, ask God. Ask God, what is the next right thing? Don't worry about the big thing. Go to the next right thing. And if you need help or assistance in any way, info@moesass.com, www.moesass.com if you want to book with me. I am running some Black Friday specials. I'm so excited about that. Or follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Life Coaching with the W Sass. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know that it may seem hard. It's hard for us as well, but make it wonderful because you can. You can start a new tradition. It's up to you. Be the change you want to see. I love you.